Hello there, Esteban here from Gojitsu Shodo Studio, and today we're going to be talking about ink. And what do you need to know is you need an ink stick called Sumi, and you need an inkstone called Suzuri. The inkstone is basically just like inkstone. What you want to have is that it has a well to put the water in there or to hold the ink, and it has a surface over here to grind the stick into the surface here to make the ink. This doesn't have to be expensive, doesn't have to be fancy. This is just a plain one, not too big, not too small. If you're not grinding an ink stick to make ink, you can basically just have a plastic bowl to hold the ink. But if you wanted to practice traditionally when you're grinding the ink into the stone, we'll talk about that later, you want to have one of these things. And the ink stick, what you need to know about it, it basically is ink made out of soot by burning different types of wood. They put it together with some binding agents and it dissolves in water. So when you put the water on the stone and you grind it, that's how the ink comes to be. There's another option that you have, that is to buy bottle ink. And so you can see I have a big bottle because I use these a lot. And this helps because it saves you time from grinding. It's also more consistent because the entire bottle has the same thickness and the same dark color. It's not light, it's not too light, it's not too dark. And mostly I just use it because it saves time. That's the main reason. When you're doing a lot of practice sessions and you only have a certain amount of time in your day, you may not want to spend 15-20 minutes grinding the ink stick into the stone. But having said that, there's a purpose for using doing the stick into the stone, and that is because the process has to be a slow process where you're grinding the ink right in the stone until the ink kind of like forms. And there's a mental preparation to that. There's a concentration where all you're doing is just grinding and making the ink, and then that sort of kind of relaxes you. It gives you like 15 minutes of just peace, and then just developing the ink, and then that's all you're doing. And then you kind of like want to take care of it too, because it takes a long time, and it heats up your shoulder to make a little bit of ink, so you don't want to waste it. And once you make the ink, you're not going to like just brush one or two characters and throw it out. Like, you are going to use it, so you end up practicing for a longer session because you want to take advantage of the ink that you grinding, because it took you some time, some effort to make it. So there is a mental preparation to do good calligraphy when you do traditionally and you grind the stick into the stone. So I still do it every once in a while when I have the time and I want to kind of like set my mind into the right state to do a piece. However, if I'm brushing, if I need a lot of ink, or if I'm kind of like don't have a lot of time to brush, then most of the time I will use the bottle, and that's perfectly acceptable. So let me show you now how you're going to grind the stick into the stone to prepare the ink. Okay, so here I have my stone and my ink, so I'm going to put that to the side. And you need to start with a little bit of water, and I'm going to use just a little bit, about this much, that's it. Grab my ink, and then I'm going to start grinding the ink stick into the stone. So you're gonna do this until that water becomes ink, and if it goes down the well, it's fine. You can dip the ink stick into it and then keep grinding, and you're gonna do this until this water is converted into dark ink. Once you have it done, you're going to start pushing the ink down the well like this with using the stick, and you're gonna repeat the process as many times as you need to make as much ink as you need to. So I'm going to put a little bit more water, and we're going to grab the stick and do the whole thing all over again. So again, this can take a little while if you need to prepare a lot of ink, and you want to make sure you keep grinding as much as you need to. So here we're just going to keep pushing the ink down the well, and once you're done, you want to test it out, and you want to see if the ink is dark enough, it's not too watery. So you're gonna use a brush and do a couple lines on the paper, and see if the ink is basically at the right consistency and the right color. So there you have it. That's how you make ink to practice Japanese calligraphy, or that's how you buy ink to make Japanese calligraphy. So please feel free to subscribe to the channel. More videos are coming up like this, where I'm going to be putting some basic techniques for beginners of Japanese calligraphy, plus all the things that I like to talk about, like Zen and Aikido, martial arts, and so on and so forth. If you haven't checked out the website, do so. The link is going to be on the description below. And that's it. I'll see you in the next one.